So in other words, your right of rescission time frame that we're going to discuss here in just a moment, it doesn't start, not only do they have to get the right of rescission disclosure, but they also have to get all material disclosures, and that could be different things for different types of loans, okay? So make sure, if you want to get your start date correct, you have to make sure that everybody who's entitled to the right to rescind gets their documents. And so for closed-end documents, okay, so let's say closed-end, generally the material disclosures, what we're talking about there is if it's a residential real estate or a TRID transaction, you're going to give them the closing disclosure. That's one of them, okay? If it's maybe it's a non-real estate loan, but it's still closed end and they still have the right to rescind. So maybe it's something like that houseboat or something along those lines. It's whatever that Truth in Lending Act disclosure is that gives the APR and the finance charge. You know, that Truth in Lending Act disclosure at closing, that's the big one they're looking at. So closing disclosure or that kind of that APR finance charge disclosure that you provide under the Truth in Lending Act. Also included as a material disclosure would be if you have a high cost mortgage loan, okay, or an HC ML, you know, the higher cost mortgage or the high cost mortgage loan. That disclosure is also considered to be a material disclosure. So they have to have that one too. So in other words, if you give them the closing disclosure and you forgot, maybe you screwed something up and you didn't get them the HCM disclosure, your rescission period didn't start. So if you have to wait, maybe you're like, oh, shoot, I forgot to give the high cost mortgage loan disclosure. I'm going to give it to them 2 days after closing. Yes, maybe I violated the reg. Maybe you've got a problem there, but that's what starts the rescission period now. That's 2 days later. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then a prepayment penalty alternate offer. That's in an obscure place of the Truth in Lending Act. If you are requiring prepayment penalties on consumer loans, give me a call. I'd like to set you up with a shrink to have your head examined because the regulators hate prepayment penalties for consumer lending. And that was a joke. I know. Don't call me. I don't know very many good shrinks.